And it's a good quality system that the stores and shops have got in, and most of them do now. Most of them do have good systems in. It is vital, it's a vital piece of evidence for the police, and I will go and look at them. I saw interesting as well the clips about the Prime Minister authorising baton guns to shoot. The police can shoot at people. We've had baton guns authorised as a public order tactic for a number of years now.
What's a baton gun?
A rubber bullet.
Right, okay, same thing.
Effectively, yeah. And we've had them as an authorised public order tactic for a number of years, haven't been used, and they're mainly used to distance a crowd. I was astonished to see vehicles being driven at crowds yesterday on one clip, which I've never seen as a public order tactic, and I think has got its own inherent danger if you're driving a moving vehicle at crowds. But using a baton gun or a rubber bullet is normally used with larger crowds to move the crowd back and distance them. Not sure it's going to be a viable tactic with what we saw in London last night, because all the crowd will do is just run around a corner and smash another shop up. You're normally using it to try and move them out of an area, which is slightly different to the scenario that was faced in London last night. And at the end of the day, it's going to be the tactical commander, the Silver, who will make the decision whether or not they're going to use that tactic. They're the ones that have got the tactics to use.
That's the tactic, but how do the actual officers feel about it?
I think if it's a viable option and they think it's going to be used and it will be benefit them on a night, then they'd be happy. We've trained with them and we've done it in practice, not been used on the mainland yet. But I think, you know, it's lots of things that the police could be doing. It's been comforting to see not so much problems in London tonight, and the police engaging the youths around the country.
Okay, Manchester, the latest from Greater Manchester Police.
Late afternoon, Greater Manchester Police officers have been faced with extraordinary levels of violence from groups of people intent on shameful criminality against the people and the communities of Greater Manchester. Shops have been targeted, they've been looted and set on fire, as criminals have, I think, brought shame upon the cities, particularly of Manchester and Salford, and brought no sense of any understanding about the impact of their actions. With no sense of the impact that they can have in terms of people, their livelihood, on the reputation of these cities, these are pure and simple criminals who have been running wild tonight across Greater Manchester, particularly in the city centre and in Salford. And I want to make it absolutely clear, they have nothing to protest against. There is nothing in a sense of injustice, and there has been no spark which has led to this. This has been senseless violence and senseless criminality on a scale that I have never witnessed before in my career. Officers of Greater Manchester Police and other emergency services have been attacked by these people intent, hell-bent on looting and stealing property, have shown complete disregard for the safety of the emergency services and also for the people of Greater Manchester. This has been an incredibly challenging situation, and my officers are out there now still facing incredible levels of aggression and violence and still making arrests as we battle to regain control here in Manchester and Salford. We have been inundated with support from our communities about how much they want to support Greater Manchester Police in bringing these people to justice. And I would ask everybody who has any information with regard to anybody who has committed acts of violence, burglary, looting, theft tonight, to pass that information on to Greater Manchester Police. We will continue to make arrests as the evening progresses. But again, I want to be very clear on this point. We have extensive CCTV footage of all the activity that has gone on tonight in Greater Manchester. We have made it absolutely clear that as early as tomorrow, we will come and arrest people who have been committing acts of violence and criminality against Manchester and Salford and other parts of Greater Manchester. I would like to thank all of our communities, other forces in the region who have supported us with resources over this evening, and our partners, without whose support and help we would have had an even harder task today. I believe that Manchester and Salford has been shamed by these criminals this evening, and we will leave no stone unturned in bringing to justice those people who committed these wanton acts of violence and criminality. I'm very proud of Greater Manchester police officers who have worked tirelessly over the few hours that we've been facing this violence and continue to put themselves at risk in terms of protecting life and property. And I would ask all members of communities across Greater Manchester to think very carefully and seriously about who they support and who they want to bring to justice for these acts which have ripped the heart out of two great cities. Thank you very much indeed.
It is 11 o'clock. You are watching Sky News. We are covering events around the country on the fourth day of rioting in some British cities. That a news conference from Greater Manchester Police.